Good afternoon. My name is Brea Ellis, and I am a senior marketing and business management student at the University of the District of Columbia School of Business and Public Administration. Today, I am happy to share with you some of my research so far on an important topic. The topic discussed today is exploring relationships between cognitive load and student performance in online learning environments. And this is the presentation outline in which I will go over five key sections which are listed below: motivations for research, introduction, literature review, empirical research, as well as discussions and implications. Abstract. The goal of this study is to explore the relationship between cognitive load and student performance in online learning environments. The research helps in distinguishing academic performance through its influences on cognition as well as motivation. A survey of several students from different online business courses was conducted in order to examine how student performance and student satisfaction with online learning were related to cognitive load. This study helps in providing suggestions for potential and future improvements to guide instructional design in online learning environments by utilizing varying student perspectives. Through my research, I strive to provide new strategies and opportunities to improve online instruction. Motivation for research. If you look at the slide here, there's a variety of pictures and images. Each of these images represents a concept related to the research. One of the most obvious examples can be found in the top left-hand corner with the elephant. This image is related to cognitive load and cognitive load management. Specifically, it outlines the three subsets of cognitive load management. In addition to cognitive load, these various images also relate to student satisfaction, online learning environments, student performance, cognition, motivation, as well as online instructional design. Each of these concepts were my motivations for research. Introduction. Cognitive load is defined as the load imposed on working memory by information being presented. It is important to define this concept before we go further. As of 2011, research efforts regarding cognitive load theory, also known as CLT, have yet to explore if overload from multimedia delivery strategies have any effect on student satisfaction when it comes to learning. Additionally, in 2011, it was also found that there could be a possibility of a relationship between motivation and learning via leveraging satisfaction as a construct of motivation and cognitive load as evidence of cognition. Now we are moving on to the literature review portion, literature review in cognitive load theory. Based on research, cognitive load theory developed into a major theory that presents an investigational framework for cognitive processes as well as instructional design. Additionally, cognitive load theory seeks to understand the cognitive processing differences between experts and novices. Towards the bottom of the page, we have two figures. Figure 3 on the left-hand side, the yellow and red model, shows the overall online learning experience, and it breaks it down into two sections, one for motivation and one for cognition. Under the motivation section, we have satisfaction, and under the cognition section, we have mental effort. Additionally, Figure 3 also shows the relationship between major variables. Figure 2 on the right-hand side shows a different concept. Figure 2 shows the relationship between the inputs and stimulus to goal selection, which leads into rewards. Specifically, this shows the feedback loop of the cognition process. Now we are moving on to our literature review. Literature review and cognitive load theory. Cognitive load theory, known as CLT, is based on three assumptions. First, the dual channel assumption, the limited capacity assumption, and lastly, the active processing assumption. Now let's break down what these actually mean. The dual channel assumption relates to how humans have separate information channels for visual as well as verbal cues. Unlike the dual channel assumption, the limited capacity assumption assumes that there's a limited processing capacity in visual and verbal channels. Lastly, the active processing assumption relates to how learning requires substantial cognitive processing in verbal and visual channels. Table 1, which is listed below, shows the various types of cognitive load in detail. These 6 different types are known as representational holding, essential, incidental, intrinsic, germane, and extraneous. Now we are moving on to the measures. How exactly is cognitive load measured, or how can it be measured? As noted, cognitive load theory seeks to understand the cognitive processing differences between individuals, whether they're novices or experts. And we found some tools that can help actually measure this. The first tool was developed by NASA and is known as the NASA Task Load Index tool. This tool, developed by NASA in the 1980s, was the gold standard for measuring subjective workloads across various work environments. This measure is developed by taking the overall workload score based on a variety of factors, including performance, effort, frustration, mental, temporal, and physical demand. The second way to measure cognitive load theory is through the Sloan model of student satisfaction. This model is known to reduce the risk of institutional bias within its survey instrument. This model also uses factors, but these factors are very different than the ones used in the NASA tool. The factors looked at in the Sloan model include improved interaction, augmented learning, enhanced students' sense of value in courses, and reduction of ambiguity. In conclusion, several references have been provided that have guided my research so far. Thank you so much.